I found this old beat up axe. You can see it's chipped pretty badly there and very rusted. But I want to see if I can fix it. I mean, it's dull as can be, but I want to see if I can fix it and use it. It's got this shitty thing on the... Okay, that's gone. But I have a lathe, so I thought about making a handle for it, but the handle, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a curve to it, so that's not going to work on a lathe. So I might have to just do a custom hand-carved handle for this, which might be fun. It's hollow in the middle, but this is pretty steel, so strong. So let's see how I get with this. This is pretty pitted too, so I was just going to sand it, see where it ends up. It's probably not worth it, but it's fun, so I'm going to do it. So my interest in sharp items goes back a while. In fact, I had a pearl-handled knife when I was a very young child. Thought it was fun. I was interested in the outdoors back then, and still am, and knives and hatchets and axes and things like that were a big part of my experience being outdoors a lot. So these are some knives that I've made. They're all custom made. The mechanisms I buy, and then I build the sheaths for them. It's great fun. This is just an antler. I bought this buffalo rib that was etched. This is an ulu, and I use it for cooking. And this is a very, very nice axe. Bought it from Duluth. And these are a fishing blade and a paring knife that I made. And then I also made this knife, which I made the sheath for it out of spalted maple, and I etched the blade and I etched the head of the knife as well. And that feels pretty smooth, but I think I've just filled the pits with this dust. I think I'm going to run it through the belt sander, tabletop belt sander, and see how much more I can get off. So I'm going to take this grinder and try and grind that down so it looks decent, and I'll do that on both sides. So there are still some marks, but boy, it is smooth, so I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm going to take this file and try and sharpen it. And then I want to make a wooden handle for this. But right now I'm going to sharpen it with this file. Okay. Pretty sharp. Could be sharper there. But this is nice and sharp. I'm going to put a sheath on it of some kind made of leather, so you don't cut yourself on it, because I've cut myself on these things and it's no fun. I'm going to do a little more grinding on that, try to get rid of those pits. I can't feel them hardly at all, but that one's very smooth, but I know there's still pits, you can see them. So I'm going to continue to grind on that a little bit. But right now I'm thinking about the handle. So I'm thinking about this walnut log. And it's about the right length. If I have to cut a little off of this, I will. The end of the metal part of this axe. But I can't just... I thought about just trying to drill a hole straight through. I mean, that's a possibility. But this thing is crooked. You can't see that. There's a bend in it, so it won't be a straight hole. So I thought about taking away, two sides, maybe just a little, just getting the core and then cutting it down the middle and routing out the center. I don't know. The more I'm thinking about this, I don't have a router bit that'll go, not a router bit, but an auger bit that'll go that deep. So I think I'm going to have to Try it the other way. So I'm gonna grip this down with a bandsaw. Whoop. Grip that down with a bandsaw and see where it gets me. So I went to the belt sander and sanded both halves smooth so they join up real nice. And then I realized I needed to take a little bit more off of, I don't know, I gotta line it up again and see. Take a little bit more off of this side, even this out a little bit, and that should work nicely. So I did a little bit more grinding with the carbide bit on this 2-inch angle grinder. And I just smoothed out the edges a little bit because it fits my hand pretty well like that. So I'm happy with that. I don't want it any thinner because I got this problem on this side, which I'm going to fill with this epoxy PC7. It's 2-part A and B, and I'm gonna fill these holes, and so it'll look gray, but I don't have a problem with that. It's just gonna be, and then I'll fill it up here too, and it'll just be funky, which is fine. And then I'll sand it again with once this is dry, I'll use that same grit, sand it down, and then use a sanding disc to even smooth it further. Probably this one, I think this is a 120, and I'll sand the whole thing down with that. It's just for fun. So I'm going to let this dry. I clamped it, this clamp here. I'll let this dry and then come back and sand it down later. So I've been using this angle grinder here to grind this off, and you can see I still have holes, so I have to figure out something else to put in there. I think I have some black millie put. Squeeze that in there. Looks like there's some holes, whoops, down at this end. And anyway, I'll sand that down and show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, there it is. It's pretty arcane, but I'm gonna have to fill those holes with something else, so I'm gonna do that now. So I found some black millie put, mixed it up. It's 2-part epoxy, put it in the holes, and I also put a ring around the whole bottom part. I didn't do it on the top. I might do a different color or nothing. We'll see. And the top is, you know, sanded. Once this all dries, I will sand it with a sandpaper that goes on that 2-inch angle grinder and smooth it all up. So after a lot of sanding, which I spared you the detail, it's very rustic, which is fine. And I put tung oil on it. Probably put a couple of coats of that on it. But that's it. Rustic for sure. I filled it with epoxy, then I filled it with resin, and there's still some holes up here, but I will fill those with something else.